A country code top-level domain is an Internet top-level domain generally used or reserved for a country, a sovereign state, or a dependent territory. All ASCII ccTLD identifiers are 2 letters long, and all 2-letter top-level domains are ccTLDs. In 2010, the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority began implementing internationalized country code TLDs, consisting of language-native characters when displayed in an end-user application. Creation and delegation of ccTLDs is described in RFC 1591, corresponding to ISO 3166-1 Alpha 2 country codes. Delegation and Management, IANA, is responsible for determining an appropriate trustee for each ccTLD. Administration and control is then delegated to that trustee, which is responsible for the policies and operation of the domain. The current delegation can be determined from IANA's list of ccTLDs. Individual ccTLDs may have varying requirements and fees for registering subdomains. There may be a local presence requirement, as for example the Canadian and German domains, or registration may be open. History: the first registered ccTLD were ASCII, and IL, all registered in 1985. In 1986, OR, DE, FI, FR, JP, KR, NL and SE were registered. Relation to ISO 3166-1, and used ISO 3166-1 codes, almost all current ISO 3166-1 codes have been assigned and do exist in DNS. However, some of these are effectively unused. In particular, the ccTLDs for the Norwegian dependency Bouvet Island and the designations Svalbard and Jan Mayen do exist in DNS, but no subdomains have been assigned, and it is NORAD policy not to assign any at present. 2 French territories, BL and MF, still await local assignment by France's government. The code A, although eligible as ccTLD for Western Sahara, has never been assigned and does not exist in DNS. Only 1 subdomain is still registered in GB and no new registrations are being accepted for it. Sites in the United Kingdom generally use UK. The former ccTLD for the U.S. minor outlying islands was removed in April 2008. Under RFC 1591 rules is eligible as a ccTLD on request by the relevant governmental agency and local Internet user community. ASCII ccTLDs not in ISO 3166-1, several ASCII ccTLDs are in use that are not ISO 3166-1 2-letter codes. Some of these codes were specified in older versions of the ISO list. The ISO 3166-1 code for the United Kingdom is GB. However, the Janet network had already selected UK as a top-level identifier for its pre-existing name registration scheme, and this was incorporated into the DNS route. GB was assigned with the intention of a transition, but this never occurred and the use of UK is now entrenched. This obsolete ISO 3166 code for the Soviet Union was assigned when the Soviet Union was still extant. Moreover, new SU registrations are accepted. ACK. This code is a vestige of IANA's decision in 1996 to allow the use of codes reserved in the ISO 3166-1 Alpha 2 reserve list for use by the Universal Postal Union. The decision was later reversed, with Ascension Island now the sole outlier. IM and J also fell under this category from 1996 until they received corresponding ISO 3166 codes in March 2006. On September 25, 2000, ICANN decided to allow the use of any 2-letter code in the ISO 3166-1 reserve list that is reserved for all purposes. Only EU currently meets this criterion. Following a decision by the EU's Council of Telecommunications Ministers in March 2002, progress was slow, but a registry was chosen by the European Commission, and criteria for allocation set. ICANN approved U as a ccTLD, and it opened for registration on December 7, 2005 for the holders of prior rights. Since April 7, 2006, registration is open to all, TP, being phased out in favor of TL since 2005. Historical ccTLDs, There are two ccTLDs that have been deleted after the corresponding two-letter code was withdrawn from ISO 3166-1, CS and ZR. There may be a significant delay between withdrawal from ISO 3166-1 and deletion from the DNS. For example, ZR ceased to be an ISO 3166-1 code in 1997, but the ZR ccTLD was not deleted until 2001. Other ccTLDs corresponding to obsolete ISO 3166-1 codes have not yet been deleted. In some cases they may never be deleted due to the amount of disruption this would cause for a heavily used ccTLD. In particular, the Soviet Union's ccTLD SU remains in use more than a decade after SU was removed from ISO 3166-1. The historical country codes DD for the German Democratic Republic and ID for South Yemen were eligible for a ccTLD, but not allocated. See also D and Y. The temporary reassignment of country code CS until it split into RS and ME led to some controversies about the stability of ISO 3166-1 country codes, resulting in a second edition of ISO 3166-1 in 2007 with a guarantee that retired codes will not be reassigned for at least 50 years, and the replacement of RFC 3066 by RFC 4646 for country codes used in language tags in 2006. The previous ISO 3166-1 code for Yugoslavia, U, was removed by ISO on July 23, 2003, but the ccTLD remained in operation. Finally, after a 2-year transition to Serbian RS and Montenegrin ME, the U domain was phased out in March 2010. Australia was originally assigned the Oz country code, which was later changed to OR with the Oz domains moved to Oz or. Internationalized ccTLDs, an internationalized country code top-level domain is a top-level domain with a specially encoded domain name that is displayed in an end-user application, such as a web browser, in its language native script or alphabet, such as the Arabic alphabet, or a non-alphabetic writing system, such as Chinese characters. ID and ccTLDs are an application of the internationalized domain name system to top-level Internet domains assigned to countries, or independent geographic regions. ICANN started to accept applications for ID and ccTLDs in November 2009, and installed the first set into the domain name system in May 2010. The first set was a group of Arabic names for the countries of Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. By May 2010, 21 countries had submitted applications to ICANN, representing 11 languages. ICANN requires all potential international TLDs to use at least one letter that does not resemble a Latin letter, or have at least 3 letters, in an effort to avoid IDN homograph attacks. However, this does not protect against homograph attacks involving 2 non-Latin alphabets having letters often represented by similar glyphs, such as the Cyrillic and Greek alphabets, for example. Unconventional usage. Lenient registration restrictions on certain ccTLDs have resulted in various domain hacks. Domain names such as IAM, Tippet, Startit and Go to form well-known English phrases, whereas others combine the second-level domain and ccTLD to form one word or one title, creating domains such as BloGS of South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands, Yaotabi of Belgium, Del Isios of the United States, and Siaripto of Tonga. The codomain of Colombia has been cited since 2010 as a potential competitor to generic TLDs for commercial use, because it may be an abbreviation for company. Some ccTLDs may also be used for typo-squatting. The domain CM of Cameroon has generated interest due to the possibility that people might miss typing the letter O for sites in the com. Commercial usage. Some of the world's smallest countries and non-sovereign or colonial entities with their own country codes have opened their TLDs for worldwide commercial use. See also, List of ccTLDs, country code top-level domains with commercial licenses, ccTLD, notes and references. External links, related websites, IANA's list of TLDs, a Euro official site, World Intellectual Property Organization domain name dispute resolution, Worldwide Alliance of Top-Level Domain Names, NORAD, Domain Name Registries Around the World, ccTLD and TLD Analysis of Several Zone Files, the ICANN Country Code Names Supporting Organization.